Greetings, all. Shardvixen here. Okay, so I'm still having issues with the nunchuck. I was hoping that I would have gotten past that at this point in time, but that's not the case. And so we'll just have to do the best I can, I guess. I am at the other half, the reactor part of this. For those of you who've never seen this part, I'm almost near the end. Let's see what this one says. This power station is undefended. Ours for the transforming. Get in there with 60 purple paint points and turn the lights out on this on ink. Yeah, sure, but I don't know where the red and blues are. I'm big, but I don't have. There's a red. Okay, so I need the blue, which I think is that. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, not as complicated as I thought it was going to be. Except now it didn't want to take me. Take me, please! Take me! What the frick is your problem? Okay, there we go. And then... okay, yeah. Woohoo, yes. So... Bitchin' Friday. What do I have to bitch about? Gee, that's a horrible thing to say, but sometimes there's a lot to bitch about, huh? And then sometimes I have nothing to bitch about. So, I don't know. It's been an interesting week. It's always an interesting week in my life. I have some really cool ideas, though, that aren't about bitching, but I have some really, really cool ideas for an intro for From the Den. Now, From the Den, if this is your first time coming and hearing me babble on, is all about my view about culture and stuff. So it's not really it's kind of like an opinion. Get out of there. It's kind of like more like an opinion than a actual know for a fact this is how it is, because you can't really say for everybody it all fits. The shoe fits for everybody, or the hat fits for the same people, because it just doesn't. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own take on things. But this is 50 years of, well, not 50 years, because I can't remember when I was born, obviously. Wouldn't it be cool if you could? That would be cool if you could remember if you were born. So I can't remember when I was born, but I have some early things that influenced me. We're probably talking about maybe 4th or 5th grade for me. So, not quite 50 years. I keep hitting that freaking water, don't I? I just must want to go swimming. And that's, that's pretty interesting for some people. There are people that I know, believe it or not, who are older than me, and they are on YouTube. One of them is Shirley Curry. She does Skyrim, and she's 79 years old. So I'm sure she has an even bigger take on the way that things are in the world than I do. Because that's close to my mom's age. That being said, though, I think that I have a lot of things I can share about how the world has changed in some ways, but then if you think about it, in some ways it hasn't changed. Get off there. What you thinking? I didn't need you. Oh, get off. Get off again. Ugh. I need to come back here and color all these. And in some ways it hasn't changed at all. I mean, and it depends on where you live, too. There's some things that, we were just, a couple of people and I were discussing that on Facebook. There are areas in America where people are not, have not had much of a big impact. It's the same. The internet probably gives them more information about the way the world is. For the most part, it hasn't changed all that much for them. And an example of that being, I died. An example of that being is that there are probably places in the world and in the United States where kids can run out and hang out all day and, not really worry about, their parents not worrying about where they're at. They kind of know where they're at and who they're hanging out with and stuff like that. But in other parts of the world, you can't do that. Your children run amok and you lose them. Or what's worse is that society says they can't be running out there all by themselves. They really have to be observed at all points in time. And that can be problematic as well. I mean, you almost ran into it again. I got 3 of them there that I can't get for whatever reason. So I'm going to move on and do these. That's the best I can do at this point in time. And there are other places that, you know, probably it's like war zones. I myself not experienced war zones. I've experienced game zones, but not war zones. I have not experienced an intense amount of cultural restrictions because I'm of my sex, though there are quite a few of them in the places in the world where that's the case. So it's just it'll just be a commentary from me and from the den. And if you read my blogs, it's just things that you guys can check out and make comments on, or say, hey, do you really think this is the way it is or not? I've written quite a few. I've gone to school, so I've written quite a few articles on things. And as a fox hybrid, you know, the world's a little different. Let's get to work on the mega reactor. Sorry. Just being near this thing creeps me out. We have to paint the area in stages. I'll talk you through it. Here we go. Now, first they treat Blob like Blob's really intelligent thing, and then they treat him like he's not very intelligent thing. Okay, so I need to do greens, right? Okay, then I need to go over here and get the blues. I can't get that until I change it. Oh, we need green. What the heck? Really? Well, that's gonna suck. So that means I gotta find yellow someplace. There's yellow. I have found my yellow. I feel so much better now that I have found my yellow. I am no longer alone. But it's still not yet. It's still not water. I do remember this one. I was thinking, do I remember being here? I do. I do remember this one. It's not as easy as it seems like. Where the frick do I go now? I don't want to go swimming. I don't want to swim. I must have to go over here. Okay, well, let's do the pipes. Blue is always good. We must have to do zip lines now. Oh, pew. Oh, pew. Yeah. Pew. Yeah. Check. You know, I read a thing that said that, by a female actually, who says that females are not as good at video games as males are. Now, I don't think that my ability to play video games well has anything to do with me being female. I think it has to do with me being an idiot. Really, I just don't think that I'm all that. I should have just gone swimming, huh? I don't think that in any case or form it has anything to do. But I do know where they're coming from with that. So the popular belief is that there are female brains and then there are male brains. Now, I had a teacher who said that if I didn't like that aspect, I could call them the waffle brain and the spaghetti brain. The waffle brain, represented as the male, quote, quote, brain, thinks in compartmentalized thought patterns, meaning that things have, you talk about A and you stay in everything that relates A. You cannot talk about B until you're all done with A. So, and that's the same way they do other things about that. And then there's the spaghetti brain, which is supposed to be the female brain. And the female brain can go from A to B to C to X, Y, and numbers and squares and all kinds of other crap that has nothing to do with anything. Right? So, do I believe that? No. But I don't believe that because I think that we're downplaying our sexes in that aspect when we make comments like that. I think that by saying that there are only male or female brains, you kind of are limiting yourself. For one aspect, too, is that we know that there are people who are transgender, who don't believe in one gender, or that they've been born with, or a gender they weren't born with. So can't have so does that mean that they have a transgender brain? I mean, I guess that could be the truth, but then I think I have a transgender brain. I can't get up. I'm gonna die. I can't get up. I'm invisible and I can't get up. There we go. So that being said, I do have a brain that thinks one way, and I have a brain, sometimes my brain thinks a different way. Sometimes my brain likes thinking all kinds of ways. The default is, where does your brain go when you're upset? That's how people figure it out. I'm not driving so well today. It must be the medication. Do not drive when using medication. All it's made me do is be really sleepy, and the world feels sideways. So when we think about that, and we say, well, that's why women aren't very good combat, or can't be combat pilots, because they don't have the right brain for the thinking power, and they're not violent. I don't know who made that concept up, because I have to tell you that some of the most violent people I've ever met are women. And they're violent in a different way sometimes. Though I don't think it's because they're female. I think it's because cultural aspects of being female says that if you're going to take someone out, you're going to take someone out in a much different way than is normal for males. Because males have a whole different way of dealing. Some males. I mean, some males I think are sneaky. I guess you could say, there's a serial killer's brain is more on the female side, if females culturally, generally wise, are more apt to be violent in a sneaky kind of way, right? Did I run out? No. So who knows? Anyway, so that's the end of this. We could talk about those kind of things from the den. I do talk about those kind of. I will be talking about cultural things that I notice and how it affects me and others that I know. Anyways, this one's a little long, and have a great weekend, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Hasta.